They did it. They actually did it. They actually did it, man. I know I've been saying for months that they would do it, like they would hit 80s. I believe they would hit 80s. Like I've been saying that for so long. But it's like to actually see them do it, it still feels like surreal. Like obviously, like I thought they could do it. Like I believe, from what I was seeing, I was like, yeah, they would do it, right? But they don't do this. Like 3D Sonic hasn't hit 80s since SA2, right? Like I mean, Metacritic didn't really exist when SA1 and 2 came out. A lot of those older games, they don't have their real Metacritic scores up because of that, so you can't even find that. If you look at all the Sonic games that have passed 80, there's no 3D Sonic here, unless you want to include All-Stars Racing Transformed. But there's no like main series 3D Sonic game here because again, the adventure games were before the Metacritic era. They don't hit 80 like that, you know. It's only 2D Sonics here, Advance 1 and 2, Sonic 2 on the 3DS version, or the Sega Ages version, Mania, Rush, which is goated of course, CD Undeserved, Murder Sonic the Hedgehog. They just gave that because it was a free game, let's be real. That shit did not deserve 82. I mean, it wasn't bad, but come on. If they charged even like $20 for this, it wouldn't have been 82. But yeah. And you see Sonic 3 again, that's on the original version. That's like Xbox 360. It's just like the re-release tax kind of thing. Advance 3, the best one, but only hit 79. Colors somehow got higher than Generations, which got 77. And re-releases don't usually get higher scores than the original versions. Bowser's World, not Bowser's World, 3D World Bowser's Fury got a lower score than 3D World on its own, right? So there's like that tax of it came out earlier, you just re-released it, we're gonna penalize the new version, because maybe it's not as impressive anymore. Dream Team got a 75. Like, this is crazy, man. This is crazy. But yeah, let's start the video properly, okay? I'm sorry, I'm getting a bit emotional, okay? Alright, so as you already know, X-Gens is coming out tomorrow, or as we used to say like 20 years ago, tomorrow. And the Metacritics have dropped, okay? And we're all here to talk about the Metacritics and react to the Metacritic reviews. So we're going to all this right now. But if you subscribe to the channel already, please make sure to subscribe, alright? Now, I know I was getting a bit emotional, but you have to remember the Metacritic is ever moving, right? It's still day one. Like, I saw this screenshot from Jaden where it had a 78, right? You see, it's got 28 critic reviews here, whereas the version we see here has got 48 critic reviews. So it was actually lower, and then some critics added some higher scores, and it went up. But that does mean that because it's still day one, and some critics show up maybe a few days late, someone could show up with a low score and drop it back into the 70s regions, like the 79. So we're not in the clear yet, okay? Now, most of the critics who got it early are going to have their scores up, and they would have got it for PS5. You can see there's one person who got an Xbox Series X. Out of all the critics that got codes, this one dude doesn't have a PlayStation, and they gave it an 8 as well. So, I mean, that's a good look. But the point is, it seems like for PS5, we might be safe, but we're going to need at least a week, maybe 2, before we know for sure that it's safe at 80. If it was at like 83, then you could be like, okay, even if it drops a couple points, we're still in the 80s. But 80 on the dot, I'm just saying, be aware that maybe one bad review, 140, you know, from some Jimquisition or whoever the fuck, could drop that shit to the 70s. I think they play on Xbox though, so we might be safe on that. But yeah, the other ports, we don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. We don't know what's gonna happen with PC. We definitely don't know what's gonna happen with Switch. Switch could be 70s because, you know, Switch performance and whatnot. But when it comes to Metacritic, they always show the score that has the most reviews. So for example, if we look at, what's a perfect example of that? If we look at Sonic Adventure 2, it says 73, and that's based off the GameCube version. But if you look here, Dreamcast says 89. They retroactively added it. I know before I said they didn't have the Dreamcast version, but it's actually here, and you can see I had an 89. But you don't see that when you search the game, because they group it and they go, okay, only 18 people reviewed the Dreamcast version, but 23 reviewed GameCube. Okay, we'll just show the GameCube. They're not just going to show the highest number, because like if you look at certain other games, which I've forgotten which game I was going to use as an example, but if you look, oh, that was really good. If you look at certain other games, they will just show whatever has the most scores. So like here, let me see, GameCube has 72, but Xbox has 73, but Xbox has less critic reviews. So they show the 72 and they put a lower number on the GOAT. So yeah, it's just one of those things where the PS5 version is going to be the one that gets the most scores because that's the version they most likely sent out. That's why all the critics have scored on that version, because why the fuck would they send out the Switch version, let's be real. And even with Frontiers is a sad one too, because it says 70, which is pretty low. I mean, I think deserved, but if you look here, there's two 75s. PS4 got a 75, PC got a 75, but barely anyone reviewed on PS4, and PC only had 14 compared to the 95 critic reviews on PS5. So actually, yeah, that's actually a good point here. 95 critic reviews on PS5, where Shadow Gems only got 48. So there is still time for a shift in score. Well, it could stay the same. It could go slightly down. It could go slightly up. But I'm just saying, because not every critic gets the game early. These are just the people that got on it early and have been able to, score it before it's come out. We do have to wait for the later critics, the people that didn't get it early, and hope that they too maintain that 80 for us. So get your screenshots just in case it gets fucked up, okay? Because it could go back to this, but I've already screenshotted it this way, and this is the way I'll remember it. Well, unless I play the game I don't like it, then I guess who cares? But I'm not saying that will happen. I'm just saying, But yeah, this is a roundup of some of the bigger platforms. You got PSX Brazil gave it a 9. IGN gave it a 9. And I've been saying this for years now. And you can quote me on this, or you can go back to my streams or my videos. I've been saying IGN has not given an unfair Sonic review since Unleashed. And I stand on that, okay? The whole perception that IGN doesn't like Sonic is dated now, okay? It is dated. I've looked at every single review they've made since Unleashed, and the last time they were unfair to a Sonic game on a review was Unleashed. And I stand on that. And this is proof of this. This is further proof of this, okay? I've been saying that. The IGN hate is done, okay? The people that hate Sonic there, well, some of them are still there, let's be real. But I guess they're not the ones who are reviewing Sonic, because, it's a big company, right? I've gone through every single review, and I stand by that. Movies, games, I've never heard of these people. They gave it a 9. Checkpoint Gaming gave it a 9. CG Magazine 8.5. Gamers RD 8.5. VGC 8. The Gamer 8. God is a Geek 8. Push Square 8. The 6 Axes 8. VG247 8. GameSpot gave it a 6. And Eurogamer gave it a... Ooh. I might react to a few reviews. I want to react to the negative ones because, those are more interesting, right? But Bradley did ask me to react to the IGN review. I don't know if there's anything interesting in there. I mean, they gave it a 9, so they're probably just going to say good things, right? When it goes to reviews, everyone wants to see the bad shit, right? Let me see. The good. Generations continues to be a fun romp. Journalists love that word. Down memory lane. Shadow Generations introduction of Chaos Control and Chaos Spear. They were not introduced in Shadow Generations, but okay. Create opportunities for interesting timing challenges. The bad. Generations feels rushed and outdated, now citing more than a decade of Sonic. This is why I said this. And oh my god, you see, I love being right, but at the same time, I wish Sega would listen to me more. Where's the video that I made? Where the fuck is the video I made? I said, is the video where I said that the game didn't feel cohesive because, yes, this video. I said it didn't feel cohesive because the new game stood out way more than the original generations. Like, the 3D World Bowser's Fury situation, they both had the same graphics because Wii U and Switch were almost identical graphically because Switch went portable. So they looked similar. Whereas in Sonic Shadow Generations, right, Gens looks dated, right? It looks dated. And because Generations is a summary of the franchise, and I said this before in my Sonic Generations Ultimate video, which is the video I made before Shadow Generations was announced, I said you should add a 4th era to represent the games that came off the Generations, which is, what's it called? Lost World, Mania, Forces. Lost World, I said C-Bomb Segway. Mania, I said use Studiopolis. Forces, I said was either Metropolitan Highway or Egg Gates. And then add a Titan Battle for Frontiers. I said all of this. I said if it's called Generations, you have to summarize the whole franchise. And now people are calling them out for it. Like, if it's Generations, why does it stop in 2011? Where's all the levels from the recent games, right? And you can't say, oh, because they're bad, we're leaving them out. Because you had 06 in there. You can't really play that card. But yeah, I knew this was gonna come out because the comparisons were gonna happen. It says here, not all Shadows doing abilities feel good to use, and they can immensely exciting, full of speed, and lead to frustrating deaths, especially in the end game. Neither Sonic Generation or Shadow Generation stories are especially memorable or exciting, despite the latter finally satisfying a cliffhanger from 2007. From what, the 06 story? I'm guessing it's something to do with Mephilus. I haven't played the game yet. I know the ROM leaked, but I haven't actually played it. You know, everyone's been playing it. But I wanted to save my reaction for the stream because I'm a sucker, right? Anyway, what was the other review we're gonna look at? Oh yeah, Eurogamer. Let's see. Sonic X Shadow Generations. Shadow's campaign provides some of the best 3D levels of the series, but it's coupled with a dated and unnecessary monster. Oof. So it's Sonic Generations taking the hit. Which is funny because that's a thing that I said before. Not this exact thing. But I said that when you make a new game that stands out, it makes you look back at the old games and go, oh, that wasn't all that. I'm not saying Gens isn't all that. You know, the modern levels will always be goated. Everything else outside of the modern levels we could critique. But it's more like, as I said, like when Sonic 2 added the spin dash, you go back to Sonic 1 and go, oh, it doesn't have that, you know. And when Mania added the drop dash, you go back to the classics and go, oh, we don't have this ability. Like, it starts to like annoy you kind of thing. And I feel like people have seen the cool presentation of Shadow Generations, and they're starting to go, oh, Sonic Generations, that was a bit too short, it's a bit too, like, the graphics are a bit dated, you know, they didn't add anything to it, like, you know, and, yeah, I mean, I saw this happening, I did see this happening. Now, granted, only a few critics have really, you know, hopped on this, because all the other critics are giving higher scores. Maybe they still mention it in their reviews, but, yeah, it's just one of those things, It's so dated, it's surprising to say combining the two campaigns is such an inconsistent, that's what I said, it was not cohesive. A remaster of an infuriating, okay, not infuriating, let's relax there. It wasn't an infuriating past, okay? They had heroes levels in there, they had like games that we love. Next to a future that seems so sublime, even if purely by juxtaposition. With this 2-in-1 approach, Sonic Team is simultaneously shot itself in the foot with an unnecessary look backwards and proving how far it's come in the past 13 years. At the very least, Sonic makes Shadow look good. But here's the thing about Generations, right? As much as the modern levels are amazing, the reason why Unleashed will always be better than Generations in my eyes is even though I think the modern levels are on par with the day levels in Unleashed, everything else in Unleashed is better than everything else in Generations. The bosses are better. Werehog is better than Classic Sonic. You can find me on that. Hubbalds are better in Unleashed. Story is better in Unleashed. Presentation is better in Unleashed. Difficulty is better in Unleashed. Like, so it's like, even though they're comparable in terms of main boost levels, everything else is where it falls apart. And I said that Shadow Generations may not surpass the modern levels in Sonic Generations, but on everything else outside of the modern levels, it could be better. And that alone could make it stand out as a superior experience compared to Sonic Generations, right? It's kind of like Spider-Man 1 versus Spider-Man 2, the games, not the movies. The games, right? Spider-Man 2 has the better gameplay in terms of the swinging, the combat, but Spider-Man 1 is the better experience because it's just a better story, the characters are better. Like, the experience of playing Spider-Man 1 is a more fun experience than the experience of playing Spider-Man 2. It's just one of those things. Spider-Man 2 had a worse story, didn't feel as fresh, it just wasn't as enjoyable. It was still a great game, and the gameplay had improved, but Spider-Man 1 was just nice to play from start to finish, and it's just one of those things. Generations has great modern levels, you go into the game, you replay the modern levels, and some great classic levels as well, but as an overall experience, if Shadow Generations does more with the overall experience, I could see why people will look back at Generations and be like, oh, that's it? And they didn't even add a new era, they didn't add anything to it. It's going to like be a juxtaposition. But nonetheless, I'm not going to read all these critic reviews. I mean, I'll skim through some of them, but a must experience for platform game lovers. It combines the best of both 3D and 2D, bringing back the 2011 classic in a definitive, I won't say definitive, but adding Shadow's own campaign. Sonic Generations is a must-have for Sonic fans, remains one of the best Sonic games of all time. In addition, Shadow Generations elevates the package to a whole new level. So most people are siding with Shadow Generations being better. Sonic Generations delivers 2 fantastic games at the price of 1, capturing the best elements of the Dreamcast era. Dreamcast era? I mean, it's more than the Dreamcast era. While I love to live in a world of Shadow Generations being the whole thing, there's fun to be had with Sonic Generations as well. It's just like putting a $200 collectible figure on the table next to an action figure you picked up at Walmart. Even the high scores are saying this shit. Like, look, Who's this? GLHF. At its core, it's still Sonic Generation, so I can't say I had a bad time playing it. And if you never played it before, then I absolutely recommend picking this up. However, if you already own Sonic Generations, then I wouldn't be paying $50 for a handful of new levels out. So this person prefers just Generations or Sonic Gens to Shadow Gens. So there are some people who are saying that for sure. IGN, a Game Bible. It takes already excellent game and spring jumps and jumps into new heights at a blistering pace by doubling up the campaign length with creative level design, fantastic bosses, plenty of collectibles, and an appreciable graphical upgrade. While the brand new shadow content isn't necessarily long on its own, it adds a nice change of pace to the collection of all-time great Sonic stages Generations already contain, and this exciting new story that's filled in as you explore the overworld for collectibles, activities, and challenges. This bulked up remaster soars far and above previous enhanced versions we got in the Sonic franchise, and hopefully this will be the gold standard SEGA holds itself to when it decides to bring back other Sonic games from the past. Yeah, 87, 86, 85, 85, 85, Level Up 82, Game Reactor. Shadow Generations feels like a sequel. It's a pretty neat trick for an add-on bundle with a remaster. And yeah, it's a neat trick. I mean, at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, the people complaining that Sonic Generations was unnecessary, even if they do believe that, they're also wrong. Because a lot of these people wouldn't have even checked out the game if Sonic wasn't playable, right? You know, Sega is still scarred from Sonic's Stupid Friends era, which is how we got Colors. So, for them to just been confident on their own and just drop Shadow Generations on its own would have been a risky move. But I guess they could have done it, added more content and made it just its own game and just no playable Sonic. Or maybe just had Sonic as a bonus playable character they can unlock, like some Luigi bullshit, you know. But like, I don't think they had the confidence to do that yet, which is fair. I get it. It's hard to do spin-offs and have them sell like the main content. Like, very few franchises have been able to pull that off. So attaching Sonic to it made sense. But maybe, like, there were better ways to attach Sonic without just slapping on a Generations port. Because it does feel like they didn't really want to re-release Gens. They just wanted to make Shadow Gens for the, you know, in time for movie 3. And Sonic Gens was kind of like the fail-safe. So they didn't really go in on the Sonic Generations portion. And when I review the game, I'm going to have to view each section different. I'm going to review Shadow Gens as its own game. And I'm going to review Sonic Gens as a remaster. Not as a game, because I've already told you how I feel about the game. But as a remaster, what does it do to be fresh? And you will see the difference in those two reviews. But yeah, you can see here is the game offers two distinct experiences. On the one hand, Shadow can bring something new to the table. On the other hand, Generations is reviving nostalgia without too many surprises. Yeah, and you got the mixed reviews. Press Start Australia. It's too hard to fit itself in the same mold while attempting to keep true to the 3D Shadow experience. Ultimately falling short of the lofty high. Okay, yeah, there they are. But yeah, the lowest score here is IGN Spain. Sonic Shadow Generations recalls one of the great games of the season as extra content that doesn't quite shine. Sonic's adventure is now very enjoyable, but Shadow's approach is fallen tragically. So I mean, there's a few people that prefer Gens or Sonic Gens to Shadow Gens. There's some reviews that are to be determined. Review in progress. Doesn't break new ground, but brings Sonic and Shadow to a new generation. Solid update, promising revival. Fun, albeit mixed experience. The Sonic side remains fun. Shadows has some fantastic level design and opportunity to play. Let down by dated bosses and a messy hub world. So reviews are still in pro. Kotaku are big. Their score's gonna affect the average as well. But I guess they don't have a score. I think Metacritic adds scores to outlets that don't give actual numbers. That's why it says like to be determined. But yeah, if the stage itself weren't enough to make me appreciate how good Shadow Generations felt to play, the white spaces open world solidified for me that Sega cooked with Traversal this time around. So yeah, get your screenshots in just in case some new score comes in and ruins it. Because I've done one of these Metacritic videos where I refreshed the page mid-video and the score changed. So it was 78 before, it's gone up to 80, but Sonic Frontiers has on PS5 95 critic reviews. We're only at 48 critic reviews. So it could go up, it could go down, it could stay the same, but for now, we hit the 80, man. We did it. Rarely asked me to react to the IGN review, so I'm going to react to that and then we're going to end the video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the game stream, right? Apparently it unlocks at 5 AM in the UK. I don't think I'm going to go live at 5 AM. So whenever I wake up, then we'll go live and play this shit. Let's check out this IGN review right quick, okay? They gave it a 9, so I'm not really expecting anything wild.
Since this is a Sonic review, I'll go fast and cut to the chase. Sonic X Shadow Generations is a fantastic combination of one of the Blue Blur's classics and the new helping of smartly designed shadow levels designed around his own abilities. And after spending some time with it, has become one of my favorite.
Oh, that's the light rail section. Oh, I know that exact. I know that exact section. That exact section. You hit the light rail, then you go back. Oh, they put an enemy there. I guess now you got boost. You could just boost through the enemies. That makes logical sense, right? There's no 4K, really.
Favorite Sonic games I've ever played.
Ooh.
SEGA and Sonic Team have learned from their recent attempts, Frontiers and Superstars, and have found clever ways to weave the best ideas of those games into a major refresh of a fan favorite. And certainly, when it comes to Shadow the Hedgehog, this is his definitive game.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course it's his definitive game. He had Shadow 5 and this. Unless you include this campaign in 06 as a game, I guess. I guess you could. It's a full story.
Half the content of Sonic X Shadow Generations is remastered from Sonic Generations, which we gave an 8.5 in our review back then. It does have a few new bells and whistles, like the adorable...
Was it 3 Chow per level? What do you get for collecting it? What do you get? Like, I don't even know what we get. What's the point of collecting them? Is that required for 100% now?
Well, Chow hidden in each 2D and 3D stage, but other than their level designs are mostly unchanged because they hold up just fine. I'd like to imagine that the Chow are a hint we'll see the return of the Chow Garden from Sonic Adventure 2 in a future Sonic game, but for now,
they're just they play so basic. Oh my, 228? What are you doing in this level that you at 228? Like,
future Sonic game,
228?
They're just a nice homage. If you've never played the original, it's definitely worth experiencing it for the first time here. Sonic Generations is a stellar combination of 2D and 3D gameplay that celebrated what was at the time a 20-year history by curating and recreating some of the best and most iconic Sonic levels that had come before. Shadow Generations wastes no time showcasing its creativity with multiple standout moments. The very first stage, for instance, transforms into fractals and looks like the alternate dimensions we've seen in Doctor Strange or Spider-Man No Way Home.
God, they didn't stop uploading in 4K.
The levels from Sonic Generations also get a slight but noticeable graphical boost thanks to the current generation of consoles. Environments look more polished and the colors are more vibrant, making enemies, hazards, and springs just a bit more noticeable when you're moving at high speed. So, by default, this is the best way to play it, even if the difference isn't.
Is this the 2D Act for Royal Canyon? Hold on. This is the 2D Act for Royal Canyon. Let me see that.
This is the best way to play it, even if the difference isn't night and day.
Yeah, they really didn't show any 2D. Well, they showed a little bit, but they didn't show much in the trailers.
The real reason you want to play Sonic X Shadow Generations is the all-new campaign filled with creative reimaginings of Shadow stages from his past appearance.
Oh, that looks just like the White Wall in Cities game.
Creative reimagining.
Like, it looks like exactly like the White Wall. It doesn't even look like Shadow's hub, it looks like the Sonic one. Are they gonna show him walking into that little section where he stands, where Sonic goes to talk to him to do the boss? Is he just gonna walk over there like?
Of Shadow stages from his past appearances throughout the Sonic series.
They're showing a lot of 2D acts in this video.
Is separate from the Generation story.
IGN said the campaign is 5 hours, so probably I guess 3 to 4 for those of us who aren't IGN.
Storyline, but plays out in a similar way, in that each stage has one part in 2D and another in 3D.
Okay, yeah.
Shadow stages have all the fast-paced appeal you'd expect to get when playing as Sonic, similar to when new paths open up when replaying a stage after Sonic has gained the light dash.
I love that, by the way.
Similar to when
that
new
rail,
paths
that
open
twist.
up when replaying a stage after Sonic has gained the light dash ability.
This is the Chaos Island level.
Shadow starts with a similar skill called the Chaos Dash, and then goes on to open up even more pathways when returning to stages with abilities like the Doom Wings that let you fly short distances and skip whole sections of levels, making them play very differently.
I just realized with the Doom Wings, Heroes stage mods are gonna go crazy in Shadow Generations. Like, whew, when we get the T-Dark levels, like, I'm just saying.
Shadow's Chaos Control ability also creates fantastic moments where he does things like freeze time to destroy a missile flying at him in a flashy mini cutscene, and unlike in the 2D Sonic stages that play like classic Sonic with no homing attack or boost gauge, Shadow keeps all his abilities for his 2D sections so they feel just as fast as his 3D stages.
Okay. They actually do have the homing attack in Generations, but most people don't use it for classic Sonic.
Besides the main stages, there are various challenge stages with objectives.
Oh, this is like the mission HUD. Okay, so 4 out of 30. So what are you collecting? Oh, you're destroying artificial chaos, and then that's the S ranking timer. Like in base gens, you had that as well. Yeah, the HUD in this game is beautiful. I've been saying that, but like, yeah, I've just seen this like mission HUD. That's really nice.
Just like requiring you to destroy enough targets before reaching the goal, or finish a hazard-filled level with a single ring to unlock bosses and the next set of stages. It's similar to Sonic Generations, with the main difference being that you need to complete all of the challenges to acquire the keys you need instead of just one.
Oh, that's where the padding is. Okay, you gotta do all the challenges. Is it still 5 per area? Because I remember like base gens had like, was it 5 modern challenges, then 5 classic? And I think you just did 1. Not even 1 of each, just 1, and then you moved on to the next area, right? I think that's how it was. Was it 1 of each, or was it 1? I think it was just 1. And they even had the doppelganger mission there, which is basically just replay the level again, because the races were so easy that it didn't even feel like a race. But if they're saying you have to do all of them, then they better be good. Because in base gens, you could skip mid ones if it was, oh, I'm not doing that mission. That sounds like a pain. But if there's a painful mission in here and it's like, oh, I got to do all of them, that could be an issue.
I do miss the collecting of the Chaos Emeralds you get in Sonic Generations because some of them had fun rival boss battles against characters like Metal Sonic and Silver. But since Sonic is collecting them in his portion of the story, it wouldn't make much sense for Shadow to be collecting them at the same time in his.
This is the ultimate power.
With both
They got an S.
campaigns combined, the total number of stages is now over 150, including traditional, challenge, and boss stages.
Well, including the missions.
That would take even an avid Sonic fan about 15 to 20 hours to burn through, and for those looking for even more challenges, completing the Shadow campaign will unlock a new option that increases the difficulty of bosses and challenge levels when replaying them.
Bosses and challenge levels? You just talking about the missions or like the main level? Are you saying there's a hard mode for the main levels as well? Is that what they're saying? Cause that sounds pretty interesting if that's true. But maybe I'm misreading that. Because I know they had hard levels for the hard versions of the bosses, but in base gens, but there was no hard versions of the main levels. That's a bit different.
There are some new storylines that creatively weave between games where Shadow has appeared, tying them into big moments we've seen in past games, like Sonic and Shadow's duel in Sonic Adventure 2. There is also a healthy dose of new scenes filling in Shadow's past that
oh yeah, so this is where Sonic and Shadow meet up.
Reunite him with
That
friends
is
and
definitely
foes.
not the gens
There's
model
also a
though.
healthy dose of new scenes filling in Shadow's past that reunite him with friends and foes and offer more context
The Blue Hedgehog of all
to his
places.
storylines in games like Shadow the Hedgehog and Sonic Adventure 2.
Couldn't have done it better myself.
These moments range from fascinating to kick-ass, and they always left me wanting more.
Talking about the gens story? Okay.
Like Sonic's, Shadows is made up of fun
Ooh, look at
reimaginations
that-
of some of
look
his
at that
best
hub.
stages across past Sonic games. We've got new versions of levels like Radical Highway, Rail Canyon, and
Goats
Space
Canyon.
Colony Arc.
Get it right.
And each stage is packed to the brim with creative routes that make good use of Shadow's old and new abilities.
You missed the hoop.
He begins with this iconic Chaos Control ability, which stops time, including the stage timer, and allows you to outrun hazards like a runaway train, stop groups of enemies in their tracks so you can dispatch them with ease, or use the new Chaos Dash to reach strategically placed shortcuts. From there,
Okay.
you unlock Doom abilities that give you new options for movement and combat. Without going into
another
spoiler
challenge.
territory, one of my
40
favorites that you
seconds.
get about midway through the story is Doom Surf. This power makes water levels a lot more fun by giving you a shadowy mana ray that can spin attack through enemies and objects. These abilities are handed out after finishing a group of stages or an area's boss, and they come
Okay,
at
so you don't have to unlock them manually by doing some shit. Okay.
enough pace to keep things consistently interesting and different from what came before.
Doom spears.
There are also some creative and enjoyable new versions of boss fights, like a metallic dragon that has you chasing him
A metallic dragon. These people have not played the GOAT. God, this remake needs to happen. Like seriously, these people are forgetting the history.
There are also some creative and enjoyable new versions of boss fights, like a metallic dragon that has you chasing him on the water, knocking trash into him, and charging up so you can unleash chaos control and land some real damage with a homing attack.
That power already belongs to me!
I wish there were more of those, but those that are here make excellent use of the most recent Doom abilities and are all fantastic additions to the collection of egg robots and various other bosses from Sonic history.
I will flatten you.
I always forget this boss in the game.
In fact, the only stage that broke my momentum and reminded me of the missteps of modern Sonic games was the Sonic Frontiers 3D stage. It feels empty compared to most of Sonic X Shadow Generations, and had an over-reliance on a new sludge-based upgrade for Shadow that reminded me
Wisp.
of one of my least favorite Wisp powers from Sonic Colors. Other than that,
All of them?
though,
Man, so even still, Chaos Island is taking L's. Man, you were the worst island in Frontiers, now you're the worst level in Shadow Generation. What is it about Chaos Island that keeps causing chaos?
I enjoyed
Pun entirely intended.
playing every stage to find optimal paths.
This is
gathered
the 2D Kingdom Valley
keys
again.
to unlock secrets in the hub world, and improve my runs until I earned the coveted S rankings.
The coveted,
Sonic
you mean the participation trophies.
Shadow Generations also evolves the all-white hub world of Sonic Generations by taking it from a 2D plane to a 3-dimensional one
This
that
is the
expands
hub. Ooh,
outwards
look at
as
that.
you complete all the stages in a section and its accompanying boss.
Ooh, I like this hub.
In between stages, I'd spend some time exploring the hub world to see what chests I could open using keys I'd collected, as well as completing various optional activities like collecting 100 rings in a short amount of time to unlock multiple rewards, like artwork, music, or journal entries about characters and the events of Shadow's life.
Chaos control.
Live and learn.
Besides a McDonald's toy called the Shadow Grinder from 2003 and a DLC stage in Sonic Forces episode Shadow, this is the first time we've gotten multiple full 2D Shadow levels, and it was interesting to see how his expanded
This is not the first time they did it in Forces. I mean, maybe they went full 2D. Maybe they had a few seconds of 3D, but...
moveset impacted their designs. Abilities like Chaos Spears allowed me to hit switches from a distance to open up alternate paths, while Doom Surf meant no longer
Still
having
Royal
to deal
Canyon?
with those
Let me see.
underwater distance to open up alternate paths, while Doom Surf meant no longer having to deal with those underwater sections of Sonic games that a lot of people don't enjoy. You can just surf right on top of the water until reaching land. Finally, I have to call out that the music
Looking at the level design here, the 2D levels, it does look, you know, decent for modern 2D. Like, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know if I put it over the modern 2D in, like, Generations, but, you know, we'll see.
accompanying our Finally, I have to call out that the music accompanying our favorite hedgehogs as they race to the goal line is excellent. The guitar riffs for stages like Radical Highway and Space Colony Arc return and are joined by some fantastic tracks like Crush 40's All Hail Shadow and Sonic Heroes Rail Canyon.
That's not Royal Canyon.
One of my
It's all about the music,
favorite
not the
elements of
footage
the
on the screen,
Generations
obviously.
games is selectable
Look at the size of that.
background music for every stage and challenge. So if you only want to hear Live and Learn across every stage like the Crush 40 Sicko You
Omega A!
Are, that's me. You can do that.
So you can change the music, right? So hopefully the original songs are in there, so we could just switch out some of those EDM remixes, you know.
Only catch is that you have to find some of the music tracks in chests scattered across Shadow's hub world, or by collecting the musical notes and red rings in Sonic's to unlock them. But that's a price I'm willing to pay.
Verdict.
Sonic X Shadow Generations takes an already excellent game and spring jumps it to new heights at a blistering pace.
You're
by
supposed to
doubling
do
up the
tricks,
campaign length with
IG.
creative level design, fantastic
243! 243!
blistering
No wonder you were running out of boost. You weren't doing no
by
tricks!
doubling up the campaign length with creative level design,
This is why they be giving participation S ranks. They don't want to hurt IGN feelings.
fantastic bosses,
Imagine they only got an A for this performance. Imagine how different the scores would be. I'm joking.
plenty of collectibles, and an appreciable graphical upgrade. While the brand new Shadow content isn't necessarily long on its own, it adds a nice change of pace to the collection of all-time great Sonic stages Generations already contained. And there's an exciting new story that's filled in as you explore the overworld for collectibles,
Ooh, look at
activities,
boss battle.
and challenges.
Or
This
cutscene of the
bulked up
boss battle.
remaster soars far and above previous enhanced versions we've gotten in the Sonic franchise, and hopefully will be the gold standard Sega holds itself to when it decides to bring back other Sonic games.
They changed it. Oh, they didn't have the arrows like that before. I swear the arrows did not look like that before. Am I tripping? I don't think they used to look like that.
From the past.
9, amazing. Yeah.
For more, check out our reviews of Super Mario Party Jamboree and Dragon
That
Ball
means
Spark.
that IGN yeah, higher than Mania. What did Mania Plus get though? Hold on. Oh yeah, they only ranked the Plus content, so they gave it a 7. I remember people flamed them for that. I remember now. That was the thing they got flamed for. But I mean, they were only ranking the Plus content. They weren't ranking the whole game. But yeah, higher than Mania. IGN has basically said this is the best Sonic game since. Well, I wish there was like a tweet or like a list that just showed all of IGN's Sonic scores, because they don't make it easy to see on their website. But you have to like manually click through, and it's a bit of a pain in the ass. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, that might be their highest score for a Sonic game since fucking Pocket Adventure. Pocket Adventure got a 10, right? Pocket. I have to spell the whole thing out. Are you serious? Yeah, Pocket Adventure got a 10. It might be the highest score for Sonic since Pocket Adventure, right? Like, that's crazy. Oh yeah! This isn't really a spoiler or anything, but like, I found out that you get 3 save slots on the games now. On Sonic Generations, you get 3 save slots. On Shadow Generations, you get... Thank the fucking Lord, the Sonic the Hedgehog, that we get 3 save... Man, 1 save on a game is the dumbest thing I've seen in some big-ass game. Like, AAA games be doing that shit too. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? 1 save? What? So yeah, we got 3 saves now per game. Thank the... God. Like, it's even just for mods and shit like that. Like, that's just an important thing that I'm just so glad we have. But yeah, we did it. 80 on Metacritic. Refreshing, nothing's changed. We're in the clear, at least until the video's done. We did it! We're here, man. We are here. 2020s is looking like it's already going to be better than the 2010s. We're only in, well, the 5th year, so actually we're quite far in, let's be real. We're halfway in. But yeah, it's looking like it's going to be better than the 2010s. If the Heroes remake comes next year and they don't butcher that, then it's just confirmed better than the 2010s with like no debates at that point. Because the 2010s got 2 great games. You got Generations and Mania, right? The All-Stars Racing fanboys would say 3. I don't really care about that game. So now we've got Sonic X Generations. That's 1. Frontiers 1.5, I guess. The Heroes remake is the solidifier. You get the Heroes remake and that's goated. 2020s is cemented as better than 2010s. It's over now. There's not even a debate at that point. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, catch me next day for stream of game. We will stream game. I can't speak anymore. It's been like 30 minutes. Yeah, they did it. We in there. And yeah, I was right to critique the 2010s because look at where we are now. Thank you. Come again. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. More content coming soon to the channel. But that's all I have to say right now. So, Premy out.